Now that we have learned the concept of mean and how to calculate the mean, let's try to solve some of the exam problems and to see how this things come in the exam. So let's understand that from an exam standpoint of view. And as I discussed, typically the official weightage for this topic, statistics in general, is 14 marks. But typically, if you see in the examination in any paper, at least for the last 4 years, you will see anywhere between 16 to 20 marks. So just keep that in mind. And the overall topic of statistics can be all the problems within that from an exam standpoint of view can be divided into three types, like I discussed in the opening video. And here today we are going to talk about the mean. So this is type 2 and just the first part of type 2, because type 2 has got both calculating mean and something called as mean deviation that we are not covered till now. We'll cover it later. So we are just going to talk about this part of the mean. So type 2 of mean, okay? And whatever is related to mean in the context of mean deviation, although I put it here from the question paper standpoint, but we will not cover here or in the next videos. But whenever we cover the other topics which are relevant, like for example, if you see, we are not covered standard deviation and coefficient of variance. So this kind of problems, although it's asking you to calculate the mean, but it's in the context of some other problems or advanced topics that I have not covered. So I'll cover in those areas. So if you see the type 2, the first part of the problem, mean, and if you see the question paper starting from winter 2019, so we have one question over here where we are asked to find the mean. And since I'll be solving some of the problems, and this we can keep it for later, but the concept still remains the same on how to solve that. And over here, if you see, we'll solve this one. This one actually, if you see, and if you check out my previous episode where I was talking about how to calculate mean, this was one of the examples that I took and I solved. So that is already done as a live session while I was trying to explain the concept of mean. But nevertheless, I'll just try to solve it again, just copy it and paste it over. Again, over here, so we'll cover this. And again, this will do it for later because it has got much more than the mean. We have standard deviation and we have got coefficient of variance. But the first part is still mean, but we'll put it for later. And then we'll cover this. We'll start with this because this is a new type of a problem. This we're not solved, although the method is still the same, but we'll start over here for the exam standpoint of view. We'll take this one as first, then we'll take this one as second, and that should suffice. And the remaining things we can do it later. And again, here it's the same thing. It is asking to calculate the mean, but it is in the context of other calculations as well. Again, the same over here also. So we'll not solve this. All this will be later and later and later. Okay. And the funny part is, if you see these problems, let me talk about the funny part over here. So let's take winter 2018 problem. And if you see this problem, there are 3 questions in the same paper that are in the context of calculating the mean. So this is the first one, okay? And again, they're asking to find the mean in the second one, but the question is still the same. So it's the same question. Both are the same question if you see in terms of numbers. So it's a funny part. So and it's in the same paper. So once you calculate this for 4 marks, you can exactly copy all the steps and put it over here and still address this part because the question is still the same. Over here, the whole question is about finding the mean, and over here, finding the mean is one of the parts of the question, and there are other parts of the question. But since the data set or the values given are same, you can just copy paste. That's the funny part. And this will anyway solve. This problem over here that you see here, that's kind of repeats all over the place. In the next paper in summer 2018 also, I think it's repeating. I think so. Yeah. Or see over here, it's the same problem. The frequency is 35831. The frequency is 35831. The same problem. Again, in the next paper, winter 27, again the same problem. So it looks like for some reason they give the same problem. So you might as well want to practice the same problem, which is what I've done while I was trying to explain the concept of mean, and we'll go through again when we solve this problem. So those are the 2 interesting observations that I wanted to make on how the problem comes and why this particular topic of mean is very important. So with that, in the next episodes, we'll start with these 2 problems. Like I explained, we'll solve this in detail and we'll copy and paste this from the previous episodes and we'll cover these 2 problems. And the remaining problems on mean we'll cover when we cover some of the advanced topics. So tune in into the next episode.